First time I set foot in this embassy, I was a private citizen. On few subsequent trips, the same. Now I come here representing the President, the Secretary of State, and everyone else who depends on you. We're assembling the best team we've ever had overseas, the best military command, the best civilian leadership. I'm so proud that Karl Eikenberry accepted this assignment. Man I first met when he commanded the forces here. I'm so glad that he's able to have his wife Ching here. And I want to say right up front that I believe the family policy would diminish our work here, led to excessive periods outside the country, and we are going to make it possible for any person whose spouse wishes to come to have a job here. It is going to go to every level. We're finding the jobs. The team that Ambassador Eikenberry's assembled and the team that's backstopping you is committed to making your situation better under these difficult circumstances. I'm so pleased Frank Ricciardoni, a man who's led 2 of the largest embassies in the world in Manila and Egypt, has come here as Deputy Ambassador. And Tony Wayne, who gave up a Class 1 post in Buenos Aires to come here and run the operations. And Joe Musamelli, who's doing the admin. And Bob Frey at AID. And Robert Gerber, who helps us so much. And the election team headed by Ambassador Carney. It's a lot of ambassadors, but with them are coming a talented team, including all of you. The nation really depends on you, as you all know. This is not easy work. This is not easy work, and I know this firsthand. And I know it may seem at times like it's impossible, and at other times like you're not getting the support or guidance you need from back home. That goes with the territory. I've been in similar situations earlier in my career. But I can assure you that President Obama himself is personally committed to this mission, and that the resources you've required for so many years are now being made available to you. If you're standing here saying, well, I haven't seen it yet, it's just words, please remember our budgetary process. The money has just been appropriated by Congress, it's being released, it's coming, and you will be getting the support that you've been reading about. It's going to make a huge difference, but we have to remember why we're here. We're here to help the Afghan people stand up on their own feet and be able to take care of their own defense, their own administrative capability, their own health and educational structures. We have to help them rebuild their once vibrant agricultural economy so that they can become a great agricultural export nation again. We have to help them develop their natural resources, copper and iron, and all things like that. And you'll notice in everything I just said, I used the word help. We are not going to replace the Afghan people and their government. That would be a colossal mistake, and it would drag us into a situation from which only a disaster would result. We're here to help the Afghans. And we felt, no disrespect to those of you who served for longer than the last 8 months, but we felt that we were too isolated from the Afghan people for security reasons, for whatever, and we felt that too much of our assistance was going unilaterally and not strengthening the government infrastructure. So we're trying to reorient that so that you can still do your job, so you can still do exactly what you've been doing before, but within a structure that has a single overarching strategic goal, and that's to assist the Afghan people and their government in leading to self-sufficiency. In leadership, they're not going to be self-sufficient economically for a long time, and we must continue to provide aid, and that is an international effort, not a U.S. effort. In the middle of this, we confront a historic election, as Ambassador Eikenberry said, only 3 weeks away. We have spent most of this year focused on this election. It will be over or not over in a few weeks. There may be a runoff, and there may be complications afterwards. To hold an election under these circumstances is incredibly difficult. To hold an election in these circumstances, a country which has never had a contested election, is doubly so. But we need to start looking beyond the election. Whatever the outcome is, once the new government is established, that is when we're really going to start to implement our plans in the civilian areas. On the military side, of course, the offensive is well underway. And Ambassador Ricciardoni and I had the privilege and the very great honor to be with the troops in Helmand and Kandahar a few days ago, where they're fighting a fantastic battle and already producing very important tangible results, particularly in the area of counter-narcotics. We decided, as you all know, to downgrade crop eradication and upgrade agriculture and go after the traffickers. And General Nicholson and his team hit pay dirt right away. That was not an accident, that drug bust. They didn't stumble into that marketplace. They knew where it was. They went in and they did, in 1 hour, they destroyed the equivalent of tens of thousands of hectares of opium without a single farmer losing his cash crop. That's the kind of thing we're going to try to do. It really makes a difference, and more things are going on, are underway, some of which are operational right now and obviously can't be talked about. There's a direct connection between what they're doing there and what you all are doing here. And there's a direct connection between what you're doing and what we're trying to do in Washington. In a simple word, we're trying to support you. I just want to assure you from the bottom of my heart that having been in your position myself as a young diplomat in another war, as they say, in a distant galaxy, in another time, I know what it's like to be out here without your family, under difficult conditions, and I just want to assure you that this is not another pit stop for a visiting Washington visitor. I'll be back in 3 weeks. The President has asked me to come out regularly, and I'll be with you, and we're there to help you in every way we can. But in the end, you really are the front line for the United States. It's a cliche, but sometimes cliches are true. And I congratulate every one of you for being part of the best embassy and the most important embassy in the world. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say two things in closing. First of all, Ambassador Holbrooke, he told me when he came back from Helmand province that one of the proudest things that he had heard from the United States Marines, that as the United States Marines, the Afghan National Army and Police moved into Khanashed to liberate Khanashed from several years of militant extremists, Taliban, and narco-trafficking control, that the Marines on the ground told him within 36 hours of them moving into that town, there was a Department of State and a USAID civilian right behind them. And that's the direct work of what's going on right here in this embassy. Second is that I've got very good news from Ambassador Holbrooke. He said that I could tell the country team on direct authority of the Secretary of State that you could take the next 1 hour off. And then the expectation is you'll be back to work, because now we have to maintain our reputation of being the best embassy in the world. Thank you very much, country team.